Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's SCORE Fairfield County's live webinar on Grow Your Business Socially with Facebook Messenger. I'm Alan Rosenberg, the webinar coordinator and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County. I'll be your host. Our presenter today is Gregg Ruais. More on Gregg in a minute. First, some brief information on SCORE. With 310 offices nationally and over 10,000 volunteers, SCORE was started in the mid-60s as part of the SBA. SCORE Fairfield County has 130 volunteers with a wide range of industry process and subject matter expertise. We offer 3 primary value-added services to small business owners: one-on-one counseling, educational workshops and webinars, and extensive resources on our website, including a network of subject experts at your disposal. You can always obtain individual counseling by going to SCORE website and request a mentor, all for free. Our next webinar is noon on Tuesday, February 19th, with Lauren White as the presenter, 10 Critical Digital Branding Tools. Look for Pacifics on our fairfieldcounty.score.org website. In addition, our new early evening webinar beginning February 19th, 5:30 to 6:30, when Budley Freud will present digital productivity. Look for Pacifics on that as our website as well. Some useful information about today's event. We've set aside some time for question and answer at the end of the presentation. If you have a question, please use the chat window at any time during the presentation. It's located in the lower left part of your screen. Our webinar will end sharply at 1 p.m. to respect your time. The session is being recorded, and the link to the recording will be available at fairfieldcounty.score.org within the next couple of days. And now on our speaker. Gregg Ruais is a small business marketing consultant, a career marketer since 2004. Gregg has worked at Fairfield County's largest direct response marketing firms as a copywriter, project manager, marketing director. He launched Plan to Profit in 2013. His expertise spans nearly all media channels and numerous industries. He earned an MBA from the University of Connecticut and has been published by Time Inc., Affluent Media, and YouGov. So now I'll turn it over to Gregg. Gregg, it's all yours.
Okay. Thank you, Alan, and thank you to SCORE for allowing me to present today. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in. I appreciate you investing some of your time to watch this presentation. So today I'm going to be talking about conversational marketing, how to grow your business socially with Facebook Messenger. First thing I'm going to go through is how to run a Facebook Messenger campaign that generates a flood of new leads, how to create an automated chatbot that builds relationships and sells for you, how chatbots can be used to grow sales from your website or LinkedIn, how to build a list of subscribers that's up to 4 times more responsive than an email list, and how a chatbot fits with and enhances whatever you're already doing online, like video marketing and generating online reviews. So before I jump into how to generate a flood of new leads with a Facebook Messenger campaign, I did want to touch briefly on why this is important. So this chart right here shows the global Messenger monthly active user growth. So back in the first quarter of 2014, there were a little over 200 million people using Facebook Messenger. And the growth has been tremendous, and today there's over 1.2 billion people who are using Facebook Messenger right on their phones. Messaging apps like Facebook Messenger have actually surpassed the social networks in terms of how many monthly active users there are for the apps. So that means there are more people using the actual Facebook Messenger app than using the Facebook app itself. And people are using Messenger to text their friends, to send video messages to friends, to send audio messages to friends, and sometimes you can even make a call through Facebook Messenger. So it's a widely accepted communication tool that is very convenient for people who have it on their phone. Some people might think that Facebook Messenger does not apply to their particular clientele or their customer base, and that is simply incorrect. If you look at this graph right here, it shows that Facebook Messenger has been adopted by people in all age groups. So as you might expect, millennials or younger people have adopted it at the highest rate, but there's really no age group where Facebook Messenger doesn't have significant market share. So even people age 65 to 75, about half of them have Facebook Messenger on their phones, and among people who are 75 and older, 40% use Facebook Messenger. So people send more than 1 billion Facebook Messenger messages per month to businesses. It's kind of like not using Facebook Messenger. Maybe it's not as drastic, but imagine if your business decided to simply stop answering the phone or stop answering your emails. Facebook Messenger is becoming that prevalent. So not having someone's phone number is hardly a big deal anymore, and that's one of the reasons Facebook Messenger is so popular. As long as you have the app and that person happens to be on Facebook, and just about everyone is on Facebook, you can communicate with them through Facebook Messenger as long as they acknowledge that they know who you are. So the first thing I want to talk about, first agenda item, is how to run a Facebook Messenger campaign that generates a flood of new leads. A Messenger ad campaign is the fastest, surest way to leverage this app for your business. And I'm going to walk you through the process step by step. And as I walk you through, I'm also going to be talking about some of the fundamentals of Facebook advertising and how to make any Facebook advertising campaign successful. So not all of this is exclusive to Facebook Messenger. Some of it is just about running a good, solid Facebook ad campaign with good fundamentals. And the reason I'm going over that is because you need those fundamentals in place to run a successful ad campaign no matter what the delivery method is. So if you have Facebook Business Manager and you use that in your business, this screen will look familiar for you. Just to create a campaign, if you don't use Business Manager, you're going to do this right from your business Facebook page. It'll look a little bit different, but the mechanics are very similar. So you click the green button to create a campaign, get started. And then if you want to make it a Messenger campaign, from a screen that looks very much like this right here, you are just going to click on this campaign objective. You get a drop-down menu, and you will select messages from that screen right there. You finalize campaign level details. So this is where you can set a campaign spending limit. So let's say you only want to spend $1,000 and no more than $1,000 on a campaign. You can set that right here. And I'm going to go through these relatively quickly, but I've gotten feedback from previous SCORE presentations that people kind of like the step-by-step approach in case you haven't watched it before. But I will be going into some strategics and tactics as well. Next, you want to choose the type of Messenger ad you want to run. I typically run click to Messenger. Now what that means is that your ad will show up in someone's Facebook news feed or on their mobile device or on the right-hand column if they're using a desktop computer. And then when someone clicks on that ad, it opens up Facebook Messenger and they can chat with your business. If you click on Sponsored Message, basically what that means is your ad appears in Facebook Messenger when someone opens up Messenger, and that's when they see it. So I typically use click to Messenger because that's where you're going to get more exposure. But you can test both, and you can advertise in both for the same offer. So after you set the campaign level details, the next step is the ad set details. This is a critical step, so don't go too fast through it. This includes your daily budget, your targeting, and the placements. These choices are critical. I've always felt and still believe that the audience targeting is the most critical element of a successful Facebook ad campaign. Anytime I've had jaw-dropping results or of extremely low cost per lead, it's because the targeting has been right on point and you're delivering the exact right message to the exact right audience. So I'm going to go through some of the targeting options. Some of these you may know, some of you may have not seen before or thought of before, but definitely spend some time at the ad set level playing around with the different targeting options that you have and really seeing how you can hone in on your target audience. So one is location targeting. So if you enter an address, I live in Stamford, Connecticut. I have an office in Stamford, Connecticut. And let's say that I'm a coffee shop or I'm a restaurant, and I want to target people who are very close to my business. So I can choose to target people within a 1 mile radius of my business. Using this section up here, I can choose to target everyone who's in this location. That means anyone who's in that 1 mile radius, or I can choose people who live in that 1 mile radius, which means they might be in New York City, they might be traveling somewhere else, but you're reaching people who live in that area. Demographic targeting. So let's say, for example, and this is why the Facebook ad platform is so universal. You can target just about anyone you want. So let's say I sell high-end fashion for women, and I'm targeting people who have high net worth, because everything I sell expensive jewelry, expensive shoes. I can choose to target women by age. Obviously by gender, I select women here, so age 40 to 60. I can target people by net worth. So in this example, I'm just giving $1 million to $2 million as an example. Now, one note on financial and net worth stuff. Some of this has gone away, but what you can do instead is you can select an option to target people by income zip code. So Facebook breaks it out by top 5% of zip codes by average income, top 10% of zip codes by average income, and you can target high net worth people like that. Or if you have a middle class client base, you can target them there as well. Occupation and work. So this is an example of an ad campaign. A lot of people think of Facebook as a business to consumer advertising platform. It can be great for B2B as well. So in this example, I have chosen down here, I have chosen demographics, work, and job titles. So I'm targeting financial advisors with an ad campaign. Financial advisors within a 50-mile radius of my 700 Canal Street address. And you can have fun with it as well. Let's say you are the owner of a sports bar and you want to have a ladies' night during baseball season. I'm in the New York metropolitan area, so there's a lot of Yankees fans. In this ad campaign, this targeting example, I'm targeting women ages 21 to 40 who like the Yankees. Remember, when people are on Facebook, anything that comes into their news feed that they like, they can just click that thumbs up button, and that tells Facebook something about them. And it also gives advertisers an opportunity to target people who fit those interest groups. And I'm excluding people who match at least one of the following. So let's say if I'm a bar owner, I might not think that married women are the best target for my ladies' night. So I'm excluding married women. So think of how targeted this audience is and how I can tailor my specific offer to a group like this. Women ages 21 to 40 who like the Yankees and they're not married. And then one final targeting example. This is an example from a very successful campaign that I've run. It's for an attorney, an immigration attorney, who's in Queens, New York. And I'm targeting people within an 11-mile radius of her office. I'm targeting people who speak the languages that she speaks, so Bengali, Hindi, Punjabi, and Urdu. And I'm targeting people who were born in India, so expats India. So they were born in India. They speak one of the 4 languages that she speaks, but they're currently within an 11-mile radius of her office. So that is her exact target audience right there, and I've been generating leads for her at about $1.50 to $2 a piece. So the last step in creating an ad campaign, after you've set the campaign level strategy, which is Messenger, you've selected your audience, your targeting, and your location targeting, and your ad set budgeting. The last thing to do is to put together your ad creative. And your ad creative consists of a few different elements. And this is a cheat sheet to high converting Facebook ad creative put together by a company called Kiss Metrics. And I think it's a really nice guide to remember when you're building your ad. So you're building your ad right in Facebook. Facebook has a deal with Shutterstock where you can use their images at no additional cost. There isn't too much writing to be done, so you don't necessarily need to be a professional copywriter. I'm going to walk through some steps for writing effective ad copy. And you're building your ad there. It usually takes 5 to 10 minutes to build your ad. So just walking through this cheat sheet right here, One, you want to make sure it's optimized for placement. That means as you're building your ad, Facebook gives you the opportunity to preview what it'll look like on multiple devices. So you can see what it's going to look like on a computer and a mobile phone. That's important. You want to write a short and sweet headline that's direct and to the point. You don't want to be too clever or salesy with your headline. It's important to be very clear with what it is that you're offering. Evidence of social proof. So if your peers like it, so will you. That's the thought behind that. So if you have a post in your daily posts that have gotten a lot of engagement on it, it's got 27 likes or 57 likes, that might be a good post to run as an ad, because as you're running the ad, people who see it in their newsfeed, it'll capture their attention when they notice that there are dozens or even hundreds or thousands of likes on the post. A strong value proposition, so it means what is the compelling reason why people should click on your ad, and that's either usually you're solving a problem or you are giving a lot of value. We're going to go over the action-oriented call to action and the image selection in the coming slides. So here are a few ad copy formats. By ad copy, what I'm referring to are the words in the ad. So two very proven ad copy formats. One is problem, agitate, solution. So you're identifying the problem that people have, that you know they have. You're agitating it, making it a little worse, and then you're presenting your solution to it. AIDA is the classic model. You'd learn this in any marketing class that you might take at a college or in an MBA program. You have to get someone's attention, especially on Facebook when people are browsing through their news feeds. They're not there to look at ads. They're there to communicate with their friends and see what they're up to, maybe look at some news. So you really have to make a strong effort to get people's attention, and then you're generating interest, desire, and action with the preceding words and images in your test, in your ad. And then some ideas to test is just a straight-up offer, and that would include like 50% off your pizza, a long-form ad, which is basically a sales letter written into Facebook, and then potentially a two-step, which means you offer something free up front and then try to upsell them later. So here are some examples. This was a messenger campaign using the problem, agitate, solution ad copy format. So it starts off with want more distance off the tee. So that's the problem that a recreational golfer might have. If he's driving the ball 180 yards and his buddies are all driving at 250, he feels inadequate, he's embarrassed, and he wants to fix it, but he doesn't know how. So that's going to speak to him right off the bat. And then you're agitating the problem. Most golfers have a slight muscle imbalance that robs them of distance. So you're making it worse by saying, look, there's something wrong with your body, and that's something that's hard to change. You're the problem, but it can be easily fixed. And then you get into the solution. Take this 30-second quiz and discover how to drive the ball further than the rest of your foursome. So for this messenger campaign, we had 564 opt-ins. The average cost per opt-in was 72 cents, and the total spend was about $400. So attention, interest, desire, action. This is a messenger campaign. I just walked you through the targeting that I did for this immigration attorney. This is one that I've run, and it follows the AIDA model. So I'm getting the attention of the local immigrant community by just asking the question, immigration issues. And then I'm trying to generate interest by mentioning the attorney, how she's obtained family-based visas, employment-based visas, and asylum for hundreds of immigrants. That's generating interest because that's something that people in her target audience want. Generating desire, saying that she's the attorney for you by calling out the languages she speaks, and then action. What do we want you to do? Click here and send a private message. The button down here says send a message, and this generates about 97 monthly leads at about $1.50 per lead. Here's an example of a straight offer. Just a free report, 5 critical mistakes to avoid when planning your retirement from IBM. Very simple, straight to the point. One thing that Facebook gives you the opportunity to do as you're building an ad campaign is you can use multiple images and multiple copy techniques and run them all at the same time. Then when you log into Facebook Analytics, it can tell you which one is performing the best. So a few ideas for testing images. One is just do something simple. Use something that is eye-catching, like that's the example of this watch ad right here. Being authentic, sometimes using a real image. Over here on the left, this is an image of a real financial advisor. It's not a model. People can recognize that. This image here, the second one from the left, that's an actual image of actual photo taken from an office environment. It's clearly not paid actors or paid models. And then the last one over here is emotive. People relate to other human emotions. So use a photo that can elicit emotions from your audience. Use a photo that displays emotion from the person in the image. Something that either highlights the problem that you're solving or the benefit they'll get from buying your product or service. One tip that I'd like to give is a free tool called Canva. So if you want to make a well-designed image to use in your ad, and you don't have any design skills, you don't have the software to use, go to canva.com. It's free, and they give you a whole hundreds of templates that you can use. All you have to do is point and click, change the copy and the image, and you end up with a professional-looking ad. So the next step in creating your Facebook Messenger ad campaign is creating your Messenger greeting. So in Messenger setup, I'm going to click on custom welcome message. I think the standard message is a little too generic. You want to be able to customize your message. So after you select that, you're going to click the edit button, and then it's going to give you some options. So this is basically what people are going to see. They're not going to see, it's not going to look like this, but this is the messaging people are going to see after they click on your ad and open up Facebook Messenger. So hi Greg, whatever the person's name is that clicks on the ad, it's going to pull in there. So it enables you to personalize the ad. Please let us know how we can help you. I like to give people a choice of 3 frequently asked questions. They can also ask whatever they want in Facebook Messenger, but if you give them a choice of 3 frequently asked questions that people ask about your business, it makes it very easy for someone to start a conversation with you because all they have to do is click on the appropriate button. This is an example of using FAQ. One tip I'd like to give for setting up your Messenger is to set expectations. So if you know you're only going to be checking your messages 2 or 3 or 4 times a day, you don't want people to have the expectation that as soon as they start a conversation with you, you're going to respond right away. So you might want to say something such as, we check our messages a few times a day. We'll respond as soon as possible. So just let people know that so that they don't think that you're unresponsive. And no hard sell. Treat people as you would if they were to call you or visit your store. How can I help? What questions might you have? People will appreciate that, and they really just want information. They don't want to be sold to at this point. So that's setting up a Facebook Messenger ad campaign. And if you remember, the fastest way to generate new leads is to just run a Facebook ad campaign. It does, require some monetary investment, but what's called the organic reach, the number of people who see your Facebook posts without you paying to boost them, has been going down steadily over the past few years. Facebook has changed their algorithm. They really do want you to pay for their ads. And if you want to get as much bang for your buck as possible and get return on the time you invest in Facebook marketing, then for the most part it is worth it to invest in ads. So now I'm going to talk about how to create an automated chatbot that builds relationships and sells for you. Before I was talking about setting the expectations and letting people know that you'll respond as soon as possible. You only check a couple times a day. A chatbot engages your potential customers, so you don't necessarily have to do that. Benefits of using a chatbot is that they're available 24/7. It's a better experience for your potential customers. It maintains relationships and engages them. It saves your time and reduces your costs, so you don't necessarily have to, you might have to hire fewer people to manage your social media accounts. And the beautiful thing about Facebook Messenger or using a chatbot is that once someone engages with your chatbot, they are now a subscriber, so you can send them a message whenever you want. And I'll go through some of the rules behind that in just a moment. So one of the benefits of using a chatbot, the biggest one I think is the automated follow-up. There was a study done by the Harvard Business Review, and it shows that responding in 10 minutes versus 5 minutes to a lead results in a 400% decrease in qualifying a lead. So if you respond as soon as possible, that's your chance to engage with someone and talk to them about your business and potentially sell them on your product or service. After 10 minutes, there's a much greater chance that they've moved on to something else and potentially moved on to one of your competitors. A chatbot can help prevent that from happening. So I'm going to give you a few examples of chatbots. This is one that's on my Facebook page. So it kind of goes like this. The chatbot greets someone, says, interested in a quote for services, no problem. Before I work up a detailed quote for you, I need to ask you a few questions to determine needs. Sound okay? And then you just give them a button that says, great. And they click on that, and that lets the chatbot know to continue with the conversation. What is and what are your goals? So I give people several options here. Search, social media. They can scroll through and look at several other options as well. So if the person says choose social, I ask them whether they would like us to respond in Messenger or via phone. They give me the answer, and then I give a message there. Now, if you have a very simple offering where there's really only 3 prices for three different products and services, you might just want to give those 3 things as a choice, and you can set up your chatbot so that it responds with the appropriate price depending on which one they offered. So it's going to be different for every business, and you can have the logic branch out really as far as you want. So the chatbot that I recommend using is ManyChat. Is not the only option available out there, and to be honest, most chatbots out there do pretty much the same thing. I don't get paid by ManyChat to promote them or anything. It's just the one that I have chosen, and since I've already kind of invested my time in learning how to use it, it's the one that I'll continue to use. It's only $10 a month. And one thing that ManyChat does, in addition to some of the others as well, is they give you some template examples. The great thing about a template is that once you choose it, you set it up. Very easy to set up, and then you just have to replace the words and the images with stuff from your own business. Some of the featured templates they have are for restaurants, e-commerce businesses, professional services, automotive businesses, real estate agents, and local coffee shops. And if your business doesn't fit into one of those 6, there are plenty of vendors out there that offer kind of pre-done chatbots for ManyChat as well. So here's one of the template examples. This is the professional services template. If you go through the chat with them, you usually say get started. You just tap a button that says get started, and then the chatbot starts. It says, Greg, welcome to ManyChat Beauty Salon. Hairdressing has always been much more than just a job for us. It's a chance to make change in someone's life. So there you have the opportunity to brand your business with an image, your value proposition. After someone taps the Learn More button, it says we offer all kinds of beauty services from simple cutting to bridal occasions and beard care. And then you give the person 3 choices. These are 3 buttons that someone can click on to learn more. So you have our services, our stylists, or contact us. And then you have a little slideshow about each of the stylists at this particular beauty salon. And under each stylist, you can schedule a visit. And then it asks the next questions. Please answer a couple questions to book a time in our salon. What are you interested in? Haircut, shaving, or coloring? And there are a number of things that you can do with these buttons. Let's say you're using an online appointment setting program. Haircut, you might allocate 20 minutes to. So they go to a calendar to book 20 minutes that are open on your calendar. Shaving might be different, and a 2-hour coloring might be different as well. But it gives the person the opportunity to become a customer of your business. You didn't invest any time in it, and they also had a great experience. Another use for a chatbot is that it enables you to build a responsive subscriber list. And the beauty of it is that all it takes is one click on a button or one response, and that person is now a subscriber. So when you marry Facebook advertising, which is the fastest way to reach your target audience, with a chatbot, you're building a massive subscriber list along the way. So this would be an example of an ad. This is an example from ManyChat on a successful ad that was run to build a subscriber list, and it's basically just a contest. Enter to win and receive a free appetizer. So they're giving away a free appetizer, some nice prizes, and once someone engages with this ad and they say something within the chatbot, you now have permission to send them a message through Facebook Messenger. Here's another example of that. You can do comment to message, which is triggered by a keyword. So let's say you're running an ad. This is an ad run by a company called Digital Marketer. People don't necessarily have to open up Messenger to engage with you, to start an engagement with your chatbot. So the ad reads like this: we've put together a free guide to ending the war between sales and marketing in your organization. All you have to do is comment below with the word guide and follow the instructions that appear within Facebook Messenger. So when someone types in the word guide in the comments section underneath this ad, Digital Marketer sends them a message in Facebook Messenger. And then once they engage with you in Messenger, they're a subscriber and you have permission to use Facebook. You have permission to market to them using Facebook Messenger. Another use for a chatbot is qualifying leads so that you're not wasting time talking to unqualified people. This is an example of a chatbot that was created by someone who provides consulting services to marketing agencies. So he's saying, do you own an agency? Yes, no, and then are you starting an agency? So he wants to know how mature your business is before he invests his time in chatting with you. If you say no, you're probably not going to be a customer of his ever. If you say yes, you own an agency, he's going to send you one thing. Or if you're just starting out, he'll send you something else. He'll send you some things that are good for people who are just starting out. So it's kind of a beautiful thing in that you are learning about people before you have to jump in and invest your time in the sales process. Now, one other thing about a chatbot is that it's not limited to use on Facebook. You can use your chatbot on your website. You can add a link to a chatbot on LinkedIn. From within ManyChat, basically you just say, I want to install a ManyChat snippet, and it gives you a piece of code to add to your website. So what that does is when someone visits a specific page on your website or any page on your website, you can determine how you want the chatbot to appear. So you can prompt website visitors to chat either with a live person, or you can use it with a bot from any angle. And this might not be so clear, but this is one example where kind of the message can come in from the right side of the website. It just says, hey there, do you have any questions about our catering menu? The example on the right-hand side of your screen is just a subtle message that comes up from the top of the website. So you can choose how intrusive or how subtle you want the bot to appear on any page of your site. So on to the next section. So I taught you a little bit about chatbots. I hope I didn't go too fast, but I will be answering questions at the end of the webinar. I'm quite sure I'll have plenty of questions on this. But this section of the presentation is about how to build a list of subscribers that's up to 4 times more responsive than an email list. Now the reason for that is that Messenger gets opened 80% of the time versus 20% of the time for email. So if you're using MailChimp or Constant Contact and you look at your open rates, sometimes you're looking at 15%, 20%, 25%. That means that more than 3/4 of the people who are on your email list that you probably spent good money and a lot of time building that list, 75% of those people aren't even opening it. With a Messenger campaign, it gets opened 80+% of the time. There are some rules that go along with it. Facebook regulates it because they don't want marketers and businesses bombarding people through the Messenger app. People will start to remove it from their phones if they do that. So the rule is you can send non-promotional broadcasts at any time. There's really no limit to sending a non-promotional broadcast, although you still want to respect people's phone and not send them something that they wouldn't want. you can send one promotional broadcast within 24 hours of opt-in, and then you can send one follow-up promotional broadcast after 24 hours. And of course, that begs the question of what is a non-promotional broadcast. Basically, a non-promotional broadcast, it does give you the opportunity to promote something, but you can't send a link, you can't send a coupon. An example of a non-promotional broadcast that you would use to increase sales, it might, say to the person, you can personalize it, say, "Hi Molly, any chance I can send you our Cyber Monday deals and giveaways?" The person then has two options, yes or no. And if the person says no, obviously you don't send them something. But if they're interested in your Cyber Monday deals and giveaway and they click yes, you now have permission. So you can send the promotional broadcast before hours, and then you can send another promotional broadcast as a follow-up within 24 hours after that. So the restriction on sending promotional broadcasts isn't restrictive because you can always send a non-promotional broadcast to get the opt-in again. Okay, so setting up a Messenger broadcast. Now, I do want to make clear that Facebook Messenger is not a substitute for email marketing. I don't at all recommend starting to use Facebook Messenger in lieu of email. I wouldn't use it in the same way. And the reason I say that is because people aren't as accustomed to receiving promotional messages in Messenger the way they are in email. I think the average person gets about 140 promotional emails a day in their Gmail account or their Yahoo account or whatever it is they're using. Facebook Messenger isn't used for that quite as frequently yet, so you want to respect it. And the other note I'll make about that is a lot of people get notified with a vibration or a dinging sound when they get a messenger. So if you're not sending people something of high value or high perceived value to them, they're not going to appreciate being bombarded with messenger broadcasts. But you can use it. There's nothing wrong with it, especially if people are past customers of yours or they've requested information from you. That's what this is for. So from within ManyChat, you're basically just on the left-hand side. There's a broadcasting field. You're going to select that. That's steps 1 and 2 here, and then you go to the new broadcast, which is step 3. And then from here, it's not that much different from setting up an email campaign in MailChimp or a Constant Contact. You're going to use a builder. You're going to type in your words. You're going to add images and videos, however you want to promote it. And you can use what's called the flow builder. And that's kind of a logic branch if you want to start a conversation with someone without actually jumping on the conversation. So here's a screenshot of that. Are you interested in learning more about how to grow your business with Facebook Messenger marketing? You're going to type your message there, and then you're going to create buttons. You don't necessarily want people to have to respond in words or type stuff out, so you're just going to create buttons for them. A yes/no button, a button that provides a link to one web page, another button that provides a link to another web page. Keep it very simple for people to respond and get to where you want them to go. And then you're going to choose what the button does. So, a yes button, it might not be a link to an offer, but it might just be the extension of a conversation. So, if someone says, yes, I'm interested in a free pizza, I'm just throwing that out there, the next message you give them might be, do you want a pepperoni pizza, a cheese pizza, a vegetarian pizza? And you can have the logic extend out as many steps as you need it to in order to kind of walk people down the path to a purchase. That was a double. And this, what ManyChat and other bot programs do is they illustrate it for you. So as you're building your conversation, you can see the logic branching out in one direction and then next. So yes goes to this send message to. If someone clicks no, it goes to something else. And this is kind of how it branches out. And it doesn't have to end here. You can have message to give multiple options and have that branch out to multiple options as well. A chatbot can also fit in with other marketing initiatives beyond Facebook advertising and sending out promotional messages to sell your products and services. Let's say a big initiative of yours is to get better online reviews, to build your online brand. Chatbot is a perfect way to do that. So the mustache maker got 68 4- and 5-star reviews in 24 hours using Facebook Messenger. I'm going to walk you through that case study right here. Have the bot respond according to star rating. So you send someone out a message. Let me walk that back to this one right here. So I apologize if I just lost you, but I want to walk you through the message here. So it's a customer survey. So you send out a Facebook Messenger with a customer survey. It's personalized. Sally, I need your help, please. Can you answer a quick question for me? How would you rate Josh, the mustache marketer's content? 1 star being poor and 5-star being awesome. So you give people 5 buttons, a 1-star button, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then based on where they click, you are going to have the bot respond accordingly. So if someone gives you 1 star, you want them to tell you about it. I've completely failed your expectations, and I apologize for that. If there's anything I do to help, please, to help change your mind and fix this, please let me know right away. I look forward to receiving your feedback below. And then you can have a button that makes it easy for them to send you an email or send you a message explaining it. You can do the same thing with the 3-star, but if someone gives you a 5-star rating in your little customer service survey, you say, thank you so much. I'll keep doing what I can to deliver great content. If you don't mind, would you leave me a real genuine review on my public page? So if someone gives you a bad review, they tell you about it so that you can get better. If someone gives you a great review, you give them a link so that they can go tell the rest of the world about it. So that's it for the presentation. I know I had quite a few comments in the left-hand side, and I will be taking questions now for the next 10 or 15 minutes.
Thank you, Greg. So as Greg mentioned, we'll now use the remaining time for Q&A, and we'll take as many as possible up to 1 o'clock. One of them was from Mary about what a chatbot was, and I believe you did that extensively, but I don't know if you want to give a quick overview on that in layman terms.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's basically just, I would compare it to a phone message where maybe you've called in to a customer service team to have your television fixed, and they say if your television won't turn on, press 1. If your television is black and white and it should be color, press 2. And they give you a list of options where you're basically engaging with a machine up until the machine can determine which person you want to talk to. That's kind of what a messenger bot does, except it's doing it online. And it also, I think you can be a lot more human with it and a lot more fun with it on Facebook Messenger in a chat bot than those answering machines tend to be. Those tend to be kind of a pain in the neck, whereas a messenger bot can be the ideal way to talk to someone. I really like the example of the consultant for agency owners basically giving 3 questions saying, do you own an agency, yes or no, or are you just starting an agency? And then he delivers content to you based on what your answer was. And then once it gets to the point where you don't feel comfortable with a chat bot handling the customer beyond that point, that's when you insert kind of a message about when someone is going to get back to you. So as the owner of a business, you can jump in at any time. You can have a very short, succinct chat bot that gives people 3 answers, and then you know how to respond when you jump in, or you can have a extended logic branch, like when you call in Cablevision and you have to press a button 4 times before getting to the appropriate person.
Thanks, Greg. And a couple of listeners have asked about getting a recording of today's session if they joined late. And you can get it it is being recorded, and you can go to fairfieldcounty.score.org, our website, and if you click on Webinars on Demand, it'll be posted there within several days. Okay, any other? Go down. One question from Marcus was, what chatbot service are you using today?
I use ManyChat. One, they have great tutorials on how to use it. It's probably also the most popular chatbot service. And the advantage of going with something that's popular is that it's very easy to find help with it whenever you need help. So if you go to a website like Fiverr.com, that's Fiverr.com, where services start at $5 each, if you're using something like ManyChat, which is very popular, you're going to have a list of vendors who could potentially help you out for a very low cost that's pretty extensive. Also, once you get started with something and you're comfortable with it, that's kind of why I started with ManyChat, and that's why I'm not going to switch. It's like if you started with Constant Contact, you're probably going to stay with it. If you started with MailChimp, you're going to stay with it. But I would go with ManyChat. I think the $10 a month price is low cost enough. It's very reasonable. And the fact that you can always get help with it when you need it, that's a big plus for me as well.
Thank you. From Hamilton, can new Messenger subscribers be transferred to an external email list automatically?
No. So when someone opts in to your Messenger campaigns, that's not an implicit opt-in for email. And also, Facebook does not give you the email address automatically. So there's no way of automatically getting email address. What you could do is in your question, you can prompt people to leave their email address if you need it to send them a free report or a free video or a free webinar. You can ask them for their email address, and you can sign them up for your email service. Or if you wanted to give them a link to an opt-in page, you can do that as well.
Thank you. From Pauline, am I right in thinking that a Messenger ad campaign is separate from Messenger broadcast? Two different ways to advertise?
Yes, they are separate, but they're not. But they are related. So a Facebook Messenger ad campaign is when you're basically paying Facebook for exposure to your ad, and when people click on the ad, your Facebook Messenger app opens up. Facebook Messenger opens up, and they have the ability to chat with either you or the bot that you've set up. So that's one type of ad campaign. But once someone starts talking to you through Facebook Messenger, as long as you have a ManyChat or something like that, they have basically opted in to get messages from you. So the two are related. It's difficult to build a large list of Messenger subscribers without an ad campaign. I'm not saying it's impossible. Some people will chat with you just organically for free, but if you really want to accelerate it, an ad campaign is the way to go. But yes, they are definitely two separate campaigns.
Thanks, Greg. From Ed, what is the best way to determine a proper budget for Facebook Messenger ad campaign?
Okay, so a good way to determine a budget, I like to think of when I think about budgeting, I like to think about, well, what's my acceptable cost per result? So if I'm okay with getting a new client for $100, if it costs me $100 to get a new client, to me that would be a success. I would say at the minimum I want to take 5 times that amount and make that my monthly budget. And I'm not saying that's not the most scientific way of going about it, but the reason I use some type of rule like that is because if you cut yourself short, let's say, let's just use the $100 example, where a new client is worth at least $100 to you. If you only run a $100 ad campaign, it's kind of like a flip of a coin. Let's say your ad campaign would have generated new clients to you at $100 each. You may or may not get a client in that first 100, but you may have gotten 2 clients in the next 100. So if you set your budget too low and you don't give yourself a little bit of runway, you could end up making the mistake of turning off an ad campaign that otherwise would have been successful. So that's kind of my rule. It's almost like an ad campaign can be successful even if it doesn't work out because you learned something, But in the case that you cut it off, you make your budget so small that you don't really learn whether or not it was going to be a profitable ad campaign, then you don't even learn something. You just kind of...
Thank you. Another question from Darlene is, can we get the slides? And yes, you can. If you go to our website and you click Webinar on Demand, it will be included with the recording. Pauline asks, what is the range of cost for an ad campaign?
Yes, I actually see Pauline asked two questions. One is, do you decide how long the ad runs? So I'll answer that one first, and then what's the range of cost? I'll answer both of them. So how long does the ad run? You have full control over how long the ad runs when you set up the campaign or the ad set. So you can tell Facebook, I want this thing off in 7 days, or you can have it run indefinitely. But even if you select you want it to run indefinitely, or you want it to run for 100 days, you can still turn it off whenever you want. But then you have to do it manually. If you set an end date, you don't have to worry about turning it off manually. And also, in terms of budget, you're not committing to something. So if you say your ad campaign budget is $1,000, you're not committing to spending $1,000. You can turn it off before then. And in terms of the range of cost, I believe Facebook probably won't let you run anything for less than $1 a day, but that's cutting it real tight because then you're not really giving your ad a chance because it won't be shown as often. So if your budget's real tight, I would prefer to make the budget a little higher and run it for a shorter period of time. That way you at least get some churn and you get some exposure for the ad each day.
Thank you. Let's see. Where does all this data end up in Facebook? Are they permitted to reuse all the precious information and data for whatever it feels helps their own business interests down the road? That goes with the privacy issue.
It goes with the privacy issue. I will say that Facebook does not give you any information on people that you reach with ads unless they give it to you. So I'm really looking at it from a marketer's point of view. It's true that if I run an ad campaign where I'm using targeting criteria, I'll know that the people who sign up for my offer, or whether it's a lead generation campaign or a e-commerce campaign, I'll know the people who signed up fit those criteria. But let's say my ad campaign reaches 10,000 people, I'm not going to know who those 10,000 people are. So I would say that for the most part, the data stays with Facebook, and they're under a pretty intense spotlight when it comes to the privacy stuff now. So.
Thanks, Greg. Well, that's all the time we have for questions today. And as a reminder, a recording of this webinar and all the materials are available within a couple of days at the fairfieldcounty.score.org website. Our next webinar will be at 12 noon on Tuesday, February 19th, and the topic is 10 digital branding tools with Lauren White as the presenter. And don't forget our new early evening webinar beginning Tuesday, February 19th, 5:30 to 6:30, Digital Productivity with Budley Freord as presenter. On behalf of SCORE, I'd like to thank all of you for attending today, and please fill out evaluations which will be sent to you via email. In closing, Greg, thanks for presenting today. And remember, for free individual counseling, go to the SCORE website and click on a request for a mentor. Have a nice day. Thank you.